What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Horrorheads podcast. I'm Rich Mallory here with my co-host Jerry Lorenko.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right. Tonight we're doing another episode of Horror Shots, which is our bite-sized episodes that we kind of do bi-weekly, but sometimes we release them on odd days. Just something we do for fun, where we pick one horror movie that we just never get the chance to talk about on the show, and we have sip a couple of drinks and talk about it. Tonight we're going to talk about Shelby Oaks, from which IMDb says 2024, but I believe it released a little bit later than that. You can follow us on Instagram at horrorheadspodcast or email us to horrorheadspodcast@gmail.com. You could listen to this wherever podcasts are available. We do highly encourage you to watch us on YouTube, so you could watch us drinking and getting fucked up. Sometimes we play some drinking games and things get a little out of hand and you want to see that. So like, subscribe to all of the things. And yeah, that's my intro for today. So yeah, we're going to talk about Shelby Oaks tonight. Which I was like reluctant to watch because I always thought it was found footage, but it is not. I would say the first 18 minutes are shot documentary style, and then it switches to a narrative feature. I'm gonna give the plot of it really quick. A woman's obsessive search for her missing sister leads her into a terrifying mystery at the hands of an unknown evil. Basically, what happens is a woman named Riley has a ghost paranormal kind of show with three other people, and they go to investigate this prison in this ghost town. And the four people I believe they all disappear, or three of them are murdered. They find the bodies. They never find Riley's body, and her sister is obsessed with finding what happened. And that's Shelby Oaks. Jerry, I see you doing something there. What are you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm actually gonna make a drink right now. So,
Oh, okay.
for it's a horror shot, so I'm just gonna make I'm gonna make a Manhattan right here on
Oh,
air.
all right, all right. Fuck
I'm just kind of dicking around. So since you called it out, I guess I'll just make it on air. So I'm just gonna pour some of this Penelope in there. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking. Meanwhile, Jerry's like mixing
Yeah,
cocktails
I'm
and
just trying to make a cocktail, man. I forgot we even doing the show. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on here, but I got some bitters now. I'm just talking.
okay.
I'll talk everyone through it here. I'm gonna put
Okay, yeah,
about
hold it
like
up real high so that
four.
our
Yeah,
YouTube patrons can see.
yeah. Put about like four splashes in there because I like I like bitters. I like the taste of bitters now.
I
This is
do
the
too. I overdo bitters in my drinks. I love bitters.
Yeah, I overdo it for sure. So this is actually the top of my shaker, but I know exactly how much it is, so I know how to pour according
What
to
is
it.
that, vermouth?
Yeah, so right now some sweet vermouth I'm about to pour in there,
Okay.
which I'm only doing about half this cap, which is a not an ounce. It's about three-quarters of an ounce. I don't love vermouth, so I'm going a little sparingly with it. I'm just pouring it into my
That's
drink
my issue.
here.
Whenever I'm mixing drinks that involve vermouth, I always use too much. I can never
You
get the right
gotta
amount.
use
So
just a little bit. Like I
yeah.
like I would say for most drinks, if you don't like the taste of it, a half ounce is okay. And if anyone wonders what that noise is, I am stirring in my shaker right now. And now I'm gonna pour it.
Okay, Jerry's pouring his Manhattan. Do you have a
Uh,
cherry or
I I may. Let's see. All
okay?
right, I'm
Oh,
pouring this bad
sh-
boy up there. This kid
perfect
knows.
pour there. Looks good.
All right, hold on a second. And then, oh, shit.
Oh, all right, we're
Here we
dropping
go.
cherries. Oh,
There
there
we
we
go.
go.
It's
He's
gonna
got his
go
cherry. All
right in
right,
there.
the Manhattan is done. So since you made that, let's cheers. I got my Evan Williams 100 proof right
Cheers.
here. That was fun. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing over there?
You
How's
know,
it taste?
it's good. You know what? Still a little bit too much vermouth. I would have went a little bit less, but just like you, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm sure someone would find this drink completely acceptable. So yeah, Shelby Oaks.
Not this tangent, but like, question: do you prefer a Manhattan over an old fashioned, or old fashioned all the way? Right? Yeah, same.
100%. Here's the thing. I got the my wife
That's a
got me
cool glass.
these cool glasses for
Yeah.
Christmas, and I haven't used it yet. So I'm like, you know what? Tonight's the night. It's a nice chill episode. We're not gonna be doing anything crazy. We're not partying too hard. We're just gonna be sipping. So I'm like, why not make a Manhattan? Try them out.
All right, so I guess we should talk about some horror. We just been kind of hanging out, kicking it
I can
right now.
I can talk more about this Manhattan or old fashioned. What do you want to like? You want to make a martini now? Like I don't know what to
No, let's get into Shelby
do.
Oaks. So before I give my opinion, which I do have a strong opinion about this movie, you kind of chose this to watch, so would love to know kind of your thoughts, why you picked this to talk about, and let's get into it.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, obviously this had like a lot of buzz to it. It was Chris Stuckmann, who was, pretty influential on YouTube. He was really known for that. He was like basically like a reviewer essentially on YouTube, and he kind of just, became an influencer.
Which is our
Did some
goal.
Yeah, I mean, he did some crowdfunding. He never made a film before, and he generated over $1 million. I'm like, man, people believed in him. I'm like, so I need to check this film out, and I went into it completely blind. I wasn't quite sure what this film was actually going to be about. Um, then I watched it. And it was very, very different. It was a very, very different film than what I was expecting. It changes a lot throughout the film, which I'm sure we'll get into it. I think it was a really good story. And I remembered liking it. So I'm like, you know what? I think I want to figure out what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, rewatch it, and talk about it on the show. So that's essentially why I picked it. What do I think about the film? I mean, I'm gonna just, overall, I like the film. It was a good film. It's definitely different. You could definitely see what they were trying to do. Does it have some problems? Yes, 100% it definitely has some problems, but at the same time I also think it was successful. I think the found footage part was kind of creepy. I think that was well done. I think switching it to like the standard kind of, like the camera disappears and just becomes a film. I felt differently about that. I didn't think that was done as well. Basically, when it kind of follows, um, the character, I think that was a little bit different, and I didn't like that as much. But I think it was a good story. So I'm gonna leave it at that. We'll get into it. Overall, I think it was a good story, and it was worth talking about.
Okay, I mean that's interesting. I kind of feel a little bit opposite where I don't feel it was a good story. I feel like I've seen this story like 100 times. There's so many movies now about a like a cult and they like make someone pregnant and they have a baby and it's like a demon baby. So like I've seen that like so many times. I'm kind of like okay, like great. My here's my thing on this movie. And I feel like it's a mood. I think they create a really good vibe when especially when it shifts to the narrative where it goes away from the found footage documentary
Yeah.
style. I feel like it's a vibe. Here's the thing. So I watched the movie a week ago, and this morning I knew we were gonna like start talking about it, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't remember anything that happens in the movie." And I was like, I remember like three key parts, but I didn't really remember what happened. I'm like, "What am I gonna talk about?" So I'm like, let me watch it again.
Oh wow.
And now I know why, because nothing really happens in the movie. Like it's a slow burn, and I would say 70% of the movie is the character Mia just like creeping around. And it is creepy. The drones like sound score is like really effective, but like there's not a lot that happens in this movie and it to me it's a bit boring and it kind of like almost lulls me to sleep because it is like a vibe but and my other thing on the movie is I feel like the pacing is really off like it the first 18 minutes are this documentary style which like I said is well done
Yeah.
and then it shifts to this narrative and I feel like once you get to the narrative you probably didn't need that first 18 minutes like I feel like the movie doesn't really start until 35 minutes in I feel like they could have just summed up if the whole movie's not gonna be documentary style, like they could have done that in like 2 minutes and then got to the point. Because there's a lot of like repeating things. Like so you have the 18-minute documentary style where they're showing you footage of things that might have happened. Then it shifts to the narrative. Then the lady Mia is like watching TV for 10 minutes of the found footage. And then she goes off on this like detective thing to try to figure out like what actually happened. And then she's creeping around for a while. Then finally something happens and then the movie's over. Like so,
So what you're describing to me right there is a
yeah.
really fucking interesting movie. I liked it. I liked how they put all that together, and I would say probably my favorite parts were like found footage, like there, it's broken up in such a strange way that it was like found footage, then there's a documentary going on basically about Mia, and then basically the camera disappears completely and it's just like kind of following Mia. So I would say the first two parts I did like that, where basically it's like that mockumentary
Yeah.
kind of thing. I did like that. I liked the creepy stuff that was going on, why those people were like ghost hunting. I think they're called like the paranormal paranoids, which was
Yeah.
kind of a silly name, but I think that was creepy and cool, and it kind of felt like you were there. But then all of a sudden, now you're watching like Mia talk about it through a documentary. Pretty, excuse me, pretty interesting. I think yeah, definitely what you're saying about like a demon and then the spawn and stuff like that. Yeah, of course, that's been done 100 times. I mean, this film is riddled with tropes, but then it's like, what is a horror movie though? You know what I'm saying? Like how do you portray a demon? How do you portray a ghost? How do you portray a haunting? Like you can't help but to like fall into those tropes, when you kind of see like a smoky kind of figure or you see like the glass breaking and things like that. How like and one way I'm like, oh, I saw that 100 times, but I'm like, but how do you show it without
Yeah.
being a cliche,
No, I don't think it was like how they showed it. Like, I think the film's really well shot. Like, and
Mhm.
it's interesting. This is his first feature film, and he had over $1 million to shoot it. And then
Yeah.
Neon, when they picked up the film, they gave him another million to do reshoots and to like fix it all up. I think it was Mike Flanagan executive produced this movie, so he had a lot of help, and which shows because the movie looks really good. It's really well shot. It's very well done. The actors are really good. Like, there's nothing. It's not that it's not a bad movie by any stretch of the means. I just kind of wanted more things to happen because it's like
Mm.
the only really thing that happens is like there's the scene where she finally gets to the house, which is where her sister is being held captive, which happens like an hour and 10 minutes into the movie. And then I feel like it gets interesting, but that's like kind of the only thing that happens in the movie is like that sequence where she goes down, finds her sister, there's like a ritual, and then that's the movie ends kind of. It doesn't end like, but like the happy ever after starts, and I would say the ending, the final end of the movie is really fucked up. It's a crazy ending. The ending
Yeah.
is great, and that stays with you. And I feel like that was an ending I hadn't seen before and didn't see coming. But I just kind of needed I needed a couple of beats for where things
Mm.
happened earlier in the movie because. Again, it's a lot, like I said, of her just kind of She's creeping around a prison, gets scared. She's creeping around the woods, gets scared. Like, but nothing, it just needed something to happen more than just like the climax.
Yeah, the investigation probably wasn't like the most exciting parts, but I think it all kind of pulled together to tell a good story. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we're going to spoil this or not. I can't decide what we're doing just
Yeah,
yet.
I
But
think I mean
I
let's
mean,
we could I think we could spoil it at this point. Like the movie's not new.
yeah, so,
Close your ears, everybody, if you want
yeah.
me to spoil. But I
So
don't think anything other than the very last like 2 minutes of the movie. I don't think there's anything that's like shocking, like that
well,
is spoilable.
I mean, I think when that guy Wilson Miles kind of shows up to the house and he like
Okay,
rings the
yeah.
doorbell and like this is like again this is at that point where it's not the found footage but it's the mockumentary and Mia is like, oh, I just need a break, hold on. There's like a knock or something at the door. She answers the door. There's just some guy there. She doesn't know. Fucking blows his head off.
It's a
She
holy shit
gets,
moment. Yeah.
yeah, it's a definite what the fuck moment. And I think a lot happens in that few seconds that I'm like, ooh, what is going on here? Because the guy says something like, she lets me go or something like that. And he's holding a tape and that's the tape that you were talking about that she watches later on and I think it's like it's kind of crazy that she sees this guy that she never met before. He basically kills himself on her doorstep. Her reaction is to take the tape from him and then she basically just waits until the cops leave, waits till her husband goes to bed, doesn't take the blood, doesn't wash it off, doesn't take a shower, doesn't do anything. She's just covered with this guy's gore and she just pops in this tape and watches it. I mean, I know, I guess they were trying to like really kind of stamp home that she is obsessed with finding, what maybe where her sister is or what happened to her sister, at least, that she's willing to kind of forget everything that just happened that day just to watch this tape because it might be a clue. But that was just like such a fucked up moment and a holy shit moment. And I think that really just kind of set you on a different kind of place than where the film started, because now she's kind of relentless, where it seemed like she was a bit passive in the way she was searching for her sister. But now she's like, I don't give a shit about myself. I don't give a shit about anything. I have to find out like what's going on, whether it's dangerous or not. And I thought that was not an exciting moment, but also got me more engaged with the film.
You know what? And maybe that's what it was. Maybe I was just let down after that, right? Because I didn't know what to expect either on this movie. And and I'm watching and I'm like watching the documentary style. I'm like, okay, great. Like, this is interesting, but like, why am I watching this? And then that moment happened. Then I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
holy shit, now what's going to happen? Like that was like, I didn't expect that at all. And and after that, I'm like, the bar is high. Like I'm expecting, and then like literally like nothing really happens for the next hour, you know? So it's kind of
Uh,
like, I mean, not that nothing happens, but like it just kind of lulls and it just kind of dragged for me. But I was expecting like, I was expecting something more interesting than this. And I don't know, it's just missing something for me. And again, the woman that plays Allie, who's the sister looking for her missing sister, I'm sorry, Mia, looking for her missing sister. Like she's really good, and it's like
oh,
I want to follow her story, and
Camille
I don't know.
Sullivan.
Yeah, maybe it just needed more like because she's mostly the movie's mostly her.
She is fantastic in the film. I mean, the
She
whole
is.
film is on her shoulders
Yeah.
essentially.
Which I don't know. I just needed something more, I guess, for me to really be interested. Because, like I said, I watched it, forgot and then I watched it again. I'm like, wait, there's really nothing to talk about. Like, nothing's happening. So yeah, I don't know. I think that 18, that thing that happens at like the 18-minute mark was just such a holy shit moment that it needed another holy shit moment, like
I
30 minutes later or something for me.
I think I had that next moment, but again, it was in the last act, where basically she finds Norma's house that a creepy dog essentially brings her to, and you could tell something weird is going on in this house. And me personally, I wouldn't have took any snacks from that from that old lady, because not only just the black mold, but it just I wouldn't want her handling my food.
Yeah.
Like she was like a nasty looking kind of old lady, and I don't care if she was making tea or handing me a cracker or whatever she was trying to pawn off, but I was like, no. But I think like when we kind of like get some insight into like whose house that is, how it all connects, I was like, oh shit, I mean, I know it was pretty deep into the film, but for me, that was like another oh shit moment. I was expecting something, but I just don't think I was expecting that. And then you basically kind of see, the story of what's been going on with her sister for the last 12 years. And I mean it was a fucked up thing, and it was a fucked up story, and the fact that they kind of like tied it to like an incubus, and I didn't know what an incubus was. I had to look it up, and it's like
Same.
yeah, it's like a creepy demon that tries to bone women while they're sleeping. So I didn't know that that's what that was. I'm like, oh, this is a nasty motherfucker right there, this guy, and he's just trying to like, he's trying to get some. I I mean, I just thought it was like a pretty well put together story, like when that tied into it, because I'm like, oh, yeah, I get what you're saying. Definitely a slow burn for sure, but I think it had its moments, and the moments that it had, I liked.
Yeah, so just to, back up, when she gets to the house where you said the woman's Norma, the
Mhm.
old lady living in the house, I felt like that was really effective. And then that's like I'm like, okay, now it's getting interesting. But like I said, you're deep into the movie at this point. And then so she has this interaction with her. It's really creepy. It's clear something sinister is going on. She finds the pictures of her sister, figures it out, and then the woman leads her into like the basement, which is super creepy. So
Yeah.
Mia finds her sister. She's all fucked up. And then like they go to this scene where again Norma's gonna do something. She's doing a spell on the baby, and you're like, oh, it's like really kind of ratcheting up. Like what's gonna happen? And then the woman does a spell, and then just kind of like dies, and then they just kind of leave. And I don't know. It just like felt anticlimactic to me, especially because like I said, I've seen this exact scene
But
in
she did the
probably
spell.
yeah, I know, but I don't know. I just felt like there needed to be some kind of action or
Mm,
something for me.
okay.
It just felt like, oh, okay, they're just gonna leave now. And I know like they don't really leave unscathed, but I remember I like when I watched it the first time, I like had to rewind it because I was like, wait, did I miss something? Like I thought like
Mm.
I zoned out and missed something, and it was like, no, you didn't miss anything. She just did the spell and then just drops dead. But I don't know. It just the movie, it's close for me. Like it's really close to being something I really like, but I needed a couple more things. It's not
Yeah.
like again, it's not a bad movie. I just for me it wasn't it could have been so much more entertaining. I don't know what it needed, but
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I liked it. The things I didn't like were probably the CGI and like the supernatural stuff. I don't know why they can't do that right
yeah.
anymore. I don't know why modern film, with all the technology we have, like fucking use AI then, dude. Do what you have to do. Like make it look right. But whenever I see like the CGI, wolves and things like that. It's like, man, just use a real wolf. It's like you had $2 million to play with. Just get a wolf, get a dog that
But they
looks
were
like a
dogs,
wolf.
right? Were they wolves or
Uh,
dogs? I think they were
so,
dogs.
so I think the ones that were creeping in the woods, I think those were wolves. I think the hellhounds are what you are referring to that were hanging out by Norma's house.
Okay.
I think they were different, because I think it was a different type of dog, because
Oh.
those looked a little different to me. But I just thought they,
If I have to think about it, like
as I was
it's
saying,
not good.
I think that looked a little fake. I thought like the supernatural powers that Norma had, I just thought that looked so fake and the floating.
Yeah.
Why was it scary in Poltergeist? Like you know what I'm
It's like
saying?
40 years ago, yeah.
Why did they get that right 40 years ago and they can't get the look right now when in a film that's basically filled with tropes based on like those types of things, why don't you just copy what worked? Like just like, you know what, this fucking looks awesome. Let me just duplicate that. But I just feel like no one could duplicate those scenes right. And that always takes me out of it personally because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this looks so bad. I'm like, this should be a scary, creepy moment, but it just looks so fake. And it's like if I'm going to believe that someone's flying in the air, it's like I'm already kind of set up to like kind of go with it. But if it's still failing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it looks really bad because I'm like, all right, a person flying, that's cool. Like I'm ready for it. I'm cool with that. But it has to look cool. It has to look good.
Especially because the movie's pretty minimalist too, like which
Mhm,
isn't a bad thing. Like it's very subtle in a lot of ways. And then when they kind of do that kind of stuff, you're like, oh, like it gets rid of the creepy vibe that they
mhm.
created throughout the entire movie, which is like it is a bit of a bummer for sure. They could have handled, and it's funny. I wonder if like the extra $1 million Neon gave like went to that kind of shit, because I was reading that they wanted there were things in the script that he just couldn't shoot because the budget wise, which again to me like the fact that this movie cost $2 million is crazy to me. Like there's like
Probably
it's such a simple
location.
movie, yet
Yeah,
maybe I don't
everything
know
was shot on location. They probably had to rent out like all those
a
spaces and
fucked
stuff.
up cabin and yeah I don't
That's
know.
that's what I'm guessing, things like that. Sorry, what is it called like when it leaves the mockumentary and the found footage? What are you calling that? Sorry, I
I was
lost
just calling it like when it shifts to like a narrative. Like
narrative. Yeah,
I don't
okay,
know the
yeah.
right word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah, it's like when I think for me also, I think when it's in that traditional kind of narrative look, I think they could have did that a little bit better. And because to me, it was shot too nice. It was too clean. It was too polished when a lot of the other film looked kind of gritty and
Hmm.
looked, a little dirty. I think that would have helped out in those scenes as well to kind of make it flow a little bit better because like when Mia was like investigating like that old jail or whatever that was. Like you could literally see everything, and it was like pitch black, and it was so sharp, and it was so clear. I'm like, you could see her sweating, and it was like pitch black. I'm like, that's too sharp. I'm like, it needs to kind of match like again, that kind of threw me off a little bit too, where I'm like, the tone is just shifting a little bit too much. Now I'm looking at something that's like, 8K when before I was
Hmm.
looking at something on a high eight, so it just
Yeah.
it was just kind of like shifting a little bit too much. I mean, it was the guy's first film. I mean, he's learning, but if he had all these people helping him out, they should be like, look, you should be able to blend these types of scenes a little bit better. I would have liked to see just a little bit of grit, even, artificial grit. I still think would have hit harder than it being so clean and sharp. And that was probably another issue I had with it.
Oh yeah, so just looking at sets, so the prison was at the Ohio State Reformatory, which is where they shot Shawshank Redemption. So I'm sure that wasn't cheap. And the cabin, the Norma's house, they built that set. So
Oh wow.
it wasn't even like a place they found. They actually built that, which to me seems like kind of crazy, but
I
that's
feel
where the
like you could
money
find
went.
a yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like you could find a cabin in Ohio somewhere, and I'm
Yeah.
not knocking Ohio. I'm just saying I feel like there's cabins in Ohio. That's
Yeah, yeah.
that's all I'm saying, or something that looks like a cabin, or fucking use AI, man.
Enough
You
of the
just
AI. No, yeah.
you're just
Honestly, the
shooting
AI
the
stuff looks like slop to me, so
yeah.
I have not seen a
I mean,
good AI video that looks
they're
good.
shooting the outside of the house, the establishing shot. You don't need it, it's a cabin. They can't find footage of a cabin, but yeah, there are definitely, little things like that I didn't like. But I mean, I didn't know what to expect from this guy. I didn't know what kind of film he would make coming from YouTube essentially, and kind of like making his own like short films and not really being like a professional. I think he did a pretty good job for like a first outing. So maybe, I'm not saying that influenced my decision at all of what I thought about this movie, but I was actually, when I was finished with it, I was kind of impressed. So I was like, yeah, all right, did a good job for a first film. I mean, it's, I guess with that kind of money, most people, maybe not, actually you see a $10 million film, $50 million film, and it's like a
See a
huge
$200 million
letdown.
film that's
Yeah.
ass. So
And it's like a
yeah.
huge letdown, they just know how to waste money. But yeah, I think he did good. So, there's a lot of little things in this film that you could kind of latch on to. And I think it's probably something that if you watch a few times, you'd kind of keep noticing like things that you might have missed like the first time, because I definitely missed a lot the first time. A little different than you. I know things happened, but I'm like, oh, I feel like I missed like the nuances and like the mood and the atmosphere and things like that, because I was just watching it casually. So that's why I watched it again, and I did realize that I liked it more the second time. I watched it because I caught some more stuff. I understood the story a lot better watching it the second time. I think I was a little bit confused the first time between like the sisters and the demon and Norma, Wilson, Miles. It's like
No,
I didn't
I'll
really
stop you
know.
right there. So I was
Yeah.
confused after the second watch too. And again,
Mm.
it's a very simple story, but there's a lot of things they don't tell you. So there's a lot of things that are just like, wait, like why did they do that? Or like just to give you an example, and maybe they explained it and I just missed it. Because again, when a movie does a slow burn, I do tend to like my mind wanders. So after Norma does the spell on the baby, she goes to like the wall and there's pictures of Mia and Riley. And I didn't understand like why Riley's pictures were there, like what she had to do with all this. Like, I
S-
get they wanted Mia because they wanted to impregnate her to have this demon baby, but like, how was Riley involved other than she might have seen this thing one time?
oh,
I didn't really get like there was a lot of
oh,
things like that where it
so
was just like, wait,
so
why is that there?
I think you got them flipped. So Riley is the one that did have the baby, and she
Oh,
had the
sorry.
baby.
Yeah, so why is Mia on the
Yeah,
wall?
because the demon wanted her initially, but if you caught that stupid argument with Mia and her husband Robert, who was like probably the worst actor, he
Yeah, he
had to
wasn't
be
good.
he had to be a
Yeah,
friend. He
yeah.
he was like, please, man, get me in a movie. I need
He's the
credit.
only one that wasn't good in the
Yeah,
movie.
he
Yeah.
was not good. They had this argument, and they're like, you know what? Let's just stop trying. So sure, she actually couldn't have children. So Mia couldn't have children. So that's why the demon basically shifted to Riley and started following her instead, because Mia was still saw the demon as well when they were kids. They both saw the demon when they were children. That's when the demon started kind of like, grooming them. So
I
it
thought Mia only
shifted.
saw the demon that one time when she slept in Riley's bed.
It was, but you could tell it was always around though. So
Oh,
yeah, it's like I think they're alluding
I
that,
missed all of this.
yeah.
Yeah.
So throughout time that the demon was kind of always around, but once it was found that, she couldn't have children, it basically switched to Riley, and don't know if we're gonna spoil the end yet because it was crazy, but
Yeah, the end was.
essentially the demon always wanted Mia to
Oh,
raise the baby, whether or not it was the mother. So
that was
she
not
was the
clear to me at
target. She was
all.
the target.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Now that you're explaining it, I after watching the movie twice, I didn't pick up on any of that. So there's a
The
lot of things like that where I'm just like have all these questions. It's not like major questions, but I'm like, oh, that was like,
it's
like what was did I miss something? And I guess I did.
it's because most of those conversations happened with her husband, and you probably logged off like
I
I
did.
did
I completely logged
when,
off when he was on. Yeah.
yeah, when he was on, because I'm like, I don't even want to, like, this guy sucks. Like, he was so bad, and he's moving the plot. So I think that was maybe like an amateur mistake, maybe, casting this guy, because even though he was on camera for 5 minutes total, he had to move the plot
Uh,
every single time he was there. And I was like, on the platform that I watched this on, I'm not gonna say, on the platform that I watched this on, it has like little like blurbs like underneath it, like a little sentence where somebody will say something, and it'll be like, I remember watching this, I like the film, but like all I remember is the husband, and he was so unmemorable, but I think they had a stupid argument. And then I was like, I just watched this movie. They had an argument.
yeah,
And
I don't remember that.
I was like, oh, I'm like, maybe this review is right. Maybe he wasn't a good actor. And then I just kind of scrolled, and it probably gives like five little snippets. And like maybe two or three of them actually mentioned how bad that this husband was. I'm like, I feel like I missed something because I barely remembered him, and I couldn't tell you one thing about him. And then when I rewatched it, I really paid attention to him just to kind of see. So yeah, as soon as he starts talking, I'm like he's
So
awful.
I'm gonna admit something right now. I zoned out so much whenever he was on screen that the second time I was watching this, I was like, wait, is he her husband or is he a brother? Like I didn't even realize the only reason why I'm thinking he's her husband is because they were like together and like I don't even recall their conversations. And I just watched this movie 2 hours ago.
he
And I was actually thinking that because I'm also thinking like, okay, like if he's her husband, did they break up? Because like, why is she like
Why is
going
she
on this
going by
journey alone?
herself? Yeah, exactly. He was so like, again, they misused. I think they just misused this character so bad because you actually forget that she has a husband, because why would she just leave the house? And again, I think they're just kind of like trying to lean into like she was obsessed and would
Which I
stop at
get that,
nothing,
but
and she would just drop everything, including her husband, to go find her sister. But they didn't establish that enough. They didn't establish the sister relationship, and they didn't establish the, me and her husband relationship enough. So they could have cut down on a lot of the solving the mystery and the, basically, those parts of the film, and maybe kind of added more of that. I think everything would have been a lot clearer because, again, the investigation went on for probably like 30 minutes.
yeah, too long. So the movie's like an hour and 42 minutes, and
Mhm.
there's still stuff missing, right? Like it's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'm thinking watching this movie again for the second time, I'm like, they could easily have cut a half hour of this
Mhm.
and replaced it with like something else because there is a lot of just like you said, nothing, or just things I'm not paying attention to that maybe I should have. So everybody, if you watch this movie, pay attention to the parts where she's talking to her husband because I did not apparently, and I missed like half of what the movie's about.
Yeah, but it was sentences though. That's the thing. Again, they didn't drill it home where they drilled home other things,
Yeah.
and but they didn't like drill it home. They didn't drill home that she couldn't have children. They said it like one time in an argument, you know, and it's like, okay,
That seems
what?
pretty important considering what
Yeah,
happens. Yeah.
but when we hear the argument, we don't know anything yet about what's happening with Riley. We don't find that out until like what, an hour later. So now you're thinking back to like this argument, and then now and you have to know what an incubus is,
Which I did not. I've never
which I
heard
did
that.
not
Yeah.
know. I did
Yeah.
not know the first time what an incubus is, and then finally I'm like, I just need to look this shit up,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, oh, all this makes sense now. You know, the second time watching it. So I mean, maybe that's why I was feeling it a little bit more than you because I really was locked in like that second time.
Can I ask one more
Completely
question?
lost.
And I missed this too.
I hope I have the answer, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So the big thing we talked about is the guy Willis, I think his name is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
who I believe is possessed by
Wilson, yeah.
he's possessed by the incubus, right? And he goes
Yes.
to Mia's house with the videotape and he kills himself. Why did he do that? Was it to like lure Mia to Norma's house? It just seems like a reach that like he would do this thing. Like even seeing the videotape, why would you think that now all of a sudden she's gonna like do all of this stuff? It just seemed like that was like what moved the plot basically was that thing which set everything in motion, but it seemed like an odd thing to happen. Did I miss something? Like,
Good
why would he do
question.
that?
Maybe a banana peel. Get to the next moment, you know?
Right?
Yeah.
Because
I
why
mean,
would
it
he do
slipped to
that?
the next moment.
Yeah, it was odd. Like, why would you like? There's got to be if they wanted
I
to get Mia to the house, they could have just
she
kidnapped her, couldn't they have? Like, they kidnapped Riley. Like, why'd they have to do all that?
I mean, she was doing the documentary. She was probably getting some publicity, so he probably knew that she was actively looking for her sister again, but to make the jump that she will walk through the woods, stumble upon this cabin and
Middle of
find her
nowhere in a ghost
sister
town. Yeah.
to get the baby that the demon wants you to raise is a stretch. I mean,
And
it's
they said she was held
definitely a
captive for
stretch.
12 years. It took them
12
12 years
years.
to
12
impregnate her.
years.
Like, what? It just
Yeah,
seems like,
yeah, she had a lot of miscarriages, so maybe she was something similar to, you know, her sister. Maybe it was just kind of something
okay.
that like ran in the family, and Mia ended up just giving up, and with Riley, that's the one they had. So I mean, yeah, you could tell like there was probably like it looked like 8 or 9 miscarriages, which
Oh,
is
I
like,
missed
well,
that. Okay. Was
that
that when
was
she was looking at the pictures?
no, is when she walked up to the cabin, you saw like those twigs that had
Yeah.
that weird shape of
Yeah, I remember
that had
that.
the tree marking. They were out on each one of those was a grave for the baby.
Do they explain that?
The only thing that explains it is the picture
Oh
where
my God.
you see Miles and Riley Wilson, his last name's Miles Wilson, and Riley standing, and he's holding a shovel and she has blood, and you can see those little things in front of them. That's the only thing that puts it together for you. So again, if you sneezed, if you ate your popcorn, which
Yeah.
I know you weren't,
I wasn't eating popcorn, but I
if
did
you're
sneeze a
taking a
bunch of
sip,
times.
if
I
you
was
took a
definitely
sip,
taking a sip. I was absolutely taking a sip.
if someone said rich and you went, what? You missed it. You missed
Because
it.
here's the
So
thing, like
yeah,
I saw those markings that she sees, and then I saw her looking at the photos, but my brain did not connect that those
yeah,
were miscarriages at all.
yeah.
So I'm going to say this right now: this movie's a failure because no, I mean honestly, like again, I'm not the most intelligent person, but like I'm not the dumbest either. And for me to like have so
I
many questions about this movie that like I didn't get these little things, and I've watched it twice. It's not like I watched it once, skim by it. Like I did watch it twice. And when we do things for the show, I do try my best to lock in. I'm not on my
mhm.
phone. And yeah, I have more questions, but I don't want to like bore our
Well,
audience. But
well, do you like it a little bit more now though? Just kind of knowing like kind of like the core kind of storyline that's like weaving through it. I do think
I think I think
it's
it's more
dense.
interesting.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
it's dense.
it's more interesting thinking that they wanted to get Mia there to raise the
Okay.
baby. I do think
Okay.
that's more interesting it becomes a bigger story. However, again, I guarantee I'm going to watch it. If I watch it a third time, I'm probably still not going to pick up on this stuff. So I don't like when I have to read like about an explanation of the movie and then I'm like, I still don't get it. Like, so for me, like if it's not, and again, I don't need everything spelled out for me. Like I do like to think about a movie, but this wasn't it for me. So yeah, like again, not a bad movie at all. I think it's very well done. I think it's creepy. It's a vibe. I do think it's a bit slow. I do think not enough happens, and I do think that there's you literally need to be watching this in slow motion to pick up on all of this stuff because it's it's not really clear, unfortunately. But I didn't hate it. Like it's not bad. I just was entertaining. Will I watch it a third time? I mean, maybe I will now just to see if I could really put together the story. But I don't know. And but I will say again, getting back to it, the very end of the movie, we don't have to say what happens, but it's really fucked up and not what I expected. And I give them a lot of credit for ending the movie on such a downer. So yeah, it's unfortunately it's flawed. Again, it is his first film. I do think he probably got a ton of help on this one because um it just seems it's really well done. And I was just reading a note, and I don't know how true this is, but it's IMDb trivia, and they're saying like his first day of shooting, they got done 5 hours early, which to me, like, I don't know if that's a flex as a filmmaker, and you have 5 hours to kill. That seems like you didn't get enough stuff. It seems like,
Yeah,
it
you
seems like
probably
you didn't get what you needed to get, and like those 5 hours that they didn't shoot on that first day, they probably could have shot more
that was
stuff to make
probably
this make more
the
sense.
interactions between
Leon was probably like, "What the fuck?" Like,
me and her husband. There was probably like a lot of they probably could have got a better shot of the graveyard. They probably could have did a little bit with those 5 hours. At least
5 hours is a lot. You could get a lot done in 5 hours. So
I would have had that guy Robert like do his lines like 3 or 4 times because those arguments. I don't even know if it was like rehearsed or anything, or if it was just ad-libbed or something like that, because it didn't sound authentic. It sounded really off to me. And again, that's probably exactly what happened to you. I didn't pay attention. I think they could have did a little more time on that. But listen, I'm not gonna like beat a dead horse here.
No,
I,
no.
I probably will watch this movie again sometime, just because I think it was just really interesting the way it was made with the three different kind of perspectives in film. And I found that interesting. And I probably will watch this guy's next movie if he does another one, just to see if he progressed at all.
And look, and while we're gonna get to the rating right now, and I'm not gonna give it an overly positive rating, I would recommend it. I would say
Mm.
check it out, make your own opinion on it. Like I wish it was better, but I would recommend like, yeah, check it out if you want to see something different. So what we do on this show is we do rate every movie we talk about on a scale of 0 to 5 bloody knives, and we do a little drinking attached to it. We were kind of just sipping. I don't know how that Manhattan's doing over there.
I got some
We were
sips left.
got some sips left. So what we do is the number of bloody knives I give a movie or the number of seconds Jerry needs to drink for, and vice versa. I'm gonna go first. Look, I'm gonna give it it's mid for me, 2.5.
All right.
I think
Better
it's
than I thought. Better than I
yeah,
thought you
look,
were gonna do.
I think it just needed a couple of more things, and it could have been great. So like I give them credit. First movie, it just needed like two more things to happen, be a little more clear on some things, and then I would have been like, this movie's awesome. So I give it a 2.5. How about you?
Yeah, I think I liked it a little bit more than you.
Yeah.
There are definitely some things I liked. I thought like, the characters were fantastic. I thought the acting was fantastic. And overall, outside like the dumb things, it's an okay movie. I watch a lot worse films.
Oh yeah.
Depending, this is probably coming out after like the thing that we filmed before this, so you're gonna hear that I'm like kind of like stuck in watching really bad found footage films right now. I'm just stuck in this like groove where I want to watch like the worst found footage films. So I've been watching like absolute trash
Like
for like the
what?
last few weeks. I can't even like I actually watched a movie called Found Footage, and it was basically like about it like an Australian like serial killer. But again, like these are like really really low budget like films. And I just so when I watched this, it was probably like a highlight, compared to like what I've been watching. So maybe that's why I'm kind of like feeling a little more favorable about this, because I think it was well done. So because of that, I'm gonna give it 3 bloody knives.
Okay. All right. So that's you drink 2.5. I drink 3.
Yeah.
Let's cheers to that.
Cheers. And I'm just about out.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna probably log off and finish this the rest of this Evan Williams so I can buy something new and stop
Woo!
drinking it. You can follow us on Instagram at Horrorheads Podcast. Email us to horrorheadspodcast at gmail.com. Again, this is available wherever podcasts are available. You could also watch on YouTube, like, subscribe to all the things. Let us know who you think about these shorter kind of episodes that we're doing. We're having fun with them, and that's all that really
Oh yeah.
matters. And whether you like it or not, we're still going to keep doing it. But fuck it, this is Shelby Oaks, and let us know what you think. So cheers, everybody. Let's get the hell out of here.
Cheers. Night.